Hello everyone, my name is Wolfdanthegamer, and today I am going to do my first ever review on the game The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. And as you can tell, there's gameplay playing on the background when now I'm talking on the microphone that I'm using. And I just recently got a new microphone lately. Sorry I haven't made an announcement on that because I'm much busy. So anyway, let's talk about the game. The game is a top-down roguelike shooter game with some minor RPG elements to it. And the game, you pretty much play as this boy named Isaac, as you can see on the screen. He's like shooting on a spider thing there, and you pretty much have to escape his own mother, who decides to pretty much use him as a sacrifice after God pretty much told her to for some reason, but don't ask me why. But anyway, I will say right now, the game is pretty messed up. Well, on paper. But before I go talk about that, let's talk about the gameplay. Well, as I told you, it's a top-down shooter, but it's not like a traditional shooter, kind of. Well, you can move around. You can move Isaac around the screen a bit, so pretty much you have full control movement. But pretty much your projectiles, as you can tell, are pretty much tears that are coming down his eyes. I don't know why, but I thought it was a pretty fun idea. And so pretty much you can shoot him in 4 directions. It's like you can shoot up, down, left, and right. You can't do diagonal shots, which is not a big problem because the game is not designed around that. But yeah. Also, if you move slightly, like up and, well, sometimes if you move, the shot will do a little bit of a curve, so it can help. So yeah. But pretty much the real meat of the gameplay though is the power-ups. In case you already known, I collected a few power-ups in the game. And I now just teleported right to the store. By the way, this is completely unscripted. I'm actually recording it and looking at the video at the same time, so yeah, there will be some similarities there. And in case you're wondering, there's a ton of power-ups in the game, and it's so hard to talk about all of them because the power-ups are completely random. Every time you start a new game or die, and you start over from scratch. You can't continue where it left off if you decide to exit the game, though. So it has a pretty nifty save feature, and I kind of like it. But anyway, trust me, this game, you need to collect the power-ups. However, there is not a right or a wrong way to get power-ups. You can potentially screw yourself in the end if you don't have the right power-ups for the job, so I would be cautious of that. Also, I would, unless you know what power-ups they do, you may need a wiki to know which ones to use, because there are a ton of power-ups, and some of them are completely vague of what they do until you use them, of course. And the power-ups will affect your stats. Okay, there's like, let's see, what types. Okay, the stats are your damage, which is damages your enemies. Then I think it's shot speed, and tears, which is pretty much the rate of fire that you fire out, tears fire out. Your range, which is pretty much your tears can go to a certain amount of range before they drop down. Like you see in this boss fight, that some of the tears are going down a bit. Yeah, that's actually a factor into it. There's also luck. There's no defense, so don't expect to see defensive boost here. There are a few defensive power-ups boosts, but that's not part of the stat. Let's see what else. Oh, there's also speed. You can also affect your character's movement speed, which it can help. So having a fast character always helps. And pretty much my playstyle is pretty much grab as many power-ups and try to become as powerful as possible. You can also increase your health, which is, you can tell in the top left corner of the screen. Oh, why is that 1+ there? Well, that's one of the power-ups. You pretty much can get extra chance if you die. pretty much like the Fair and the Ball and Legend of Zelda games. Now I think about it, this game reminds me of Legend of Zelda in terms of the dungeons. And that's the entire game. There's no outside environments, no overworld, nothing, just dungeons. And you fight bosses. This is Gluttony. He's one of the 7 deadly sins. I'm not kidding. So pretty much, there are plenty of bosses in this game, and the bosses are fairly easy. The attacks are easy to decipher once you get used to them. It will give you a tough time the first time, and I will say right now, there are a ton of bosses in this game, and each one has their different attacks and stuff like that. So that's really something to factor in terms of strategy. Well, every time you die, the bosses will change in order. So, and also the enemies too. Well, the enemies are probably a little challenge though. Also, you can collect coins, which can help you buy additional items like additional keys and bombs, and also most of the time power-ups. And there's bombs, which I only use to blow up secrets. You can use them to kill enemies, but be very careful because they're very limited, and the time delay is a bit off sometimes, so they're not really as effective as weapons. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, I decided to start over there because why not? So yes, you can do that. But anyway, as you can see right there, that's how the procedure generation works. Every time you start over, it becomes different. That's what roguelike is pretty much means. You start fresh with sometimes new characters. There are multiple characters in the game, but for the sake of this playthrough that Coach you've seen, I'm playing as Isaac because he's the most balanced out of all the characters. Also, he comes with I think a bomb. Yeah, it was one bomb. Also the keys. So the keys help unlock doors and sometimes these golden chests that you have to unlock the key. And also soon you'll see doors with you need 2 keys to enter, which are like special rooms. There are like a ton of rooms in this game, but I don't want to spoil it for all of you guys because they're secrets and I don't want to reveal it for yourself. But in case you're wondering, the music is freaking awesome. The Cellar has to be one of my favorite tracks in the game. Also, one of my favorites is the arena battle scene, which most of you probably know, but it sounds epic though. So yeah. Also, sound design wise, it's actually pretty solid. Well, the teardrops have a nice wet sound to them every time they either hit on the ground or something. And there's also some moaning and groaning for certain enemies, and also depending on what you collect, like coins, bombs, and other power-ups. Oh, including that pill right there. Yeah. Well, you can also collect pills, which are kind of like potions in your typical roguelike game, with different effects and stuff. Well, the color. Sometimes the pills may look different, but they give you different effects. Oh, and that's a power-up that, like I said, some of the power-ups will actually you have to use manually by pressing the space bar. I use the keyboard for the game, and it turns out to be very well controlled for the game. I don't have a problem with the controls at all because it's well balanced and well controlled, and every time I make them get hit, it's usually my fault for not paying attention. And the enemies are a bit tough. I will say graphics-wise, it's a very smooth and responsive game. It runs on a very steady 60 frames per second, which is very handy for a game like this because, trust me, it really helps a bit. And also the game looks great. The sprite work is top-notch. I like the art style. It's dark yet cartoonish, and it kind of, I don't know how to compare this animation style to, but it's really dark and very adult for the game, which is where the story and the themes fits in the game. And I will say it's very great. The game is definitely graphic, but however, it's not the most graphic game I ever played in my existence. So So don't expect to be a AAA quality game, but it's very impressive for a game like this. And for your asking, yes, it is made by the guys who made Super Meat Boy, which I did play, and that game's awesome, by the way. And so it really shows off some creativity of the gameplay and stuff, which I do love. And let's see, what else? What else can I talk about the game? Well, I beat this game many times, and I spent many hours on the game. Obviously, just one of the runs, of course. And right now, I'm fighting Pin, I think, again. This time, I'm trying to fight him with a directional shot, but it's fucking impossible, as you can tell, because, as you probably saw in the gameplay footage, I accidentally grabbed a pill that gives me a random effect that causes my eyes to shoot, well, to be crooked to the point that it's that it shoots diagonally. Okay, now it's back to normal, which it was a bit tough trying to beat that boss normally. So yeah, and well, sorry, I'm trying to think of something to say because this is my first review, so I am trying to try something new here, just to talk about the game and stuff. And by the way, I do love this game. It was one of my first games I bought when I got my first PC, which was amazing, by the way. Oh, sorry about that. My screen just went black all of a sudden, so yeah, sorry about that. And let's see. And I heard of this game many times, but never got a chance to play it. So I went for the Rebirth version because I just like, I don't know, I like the way it looked. But anyway, I did as much as I could. I tried the challenge mode. I got past the womb. I beat both the heaven room, the heaven dungeon, which is pretty much Isaac. You can face yourself as one of the final bosses in the game. And I even fought Satan, and Satan was a bitch because he has multiple forms. You gotta make sure you're at least strong enough to face him, have enough health to do it. And eventually, I was able to beat him, and that was satisfying as all hell, and I loved it. There's even the boss rush room you go into to get, I think, 2 power-ups you have to go through. And that was pretty intense. Of course, it's mostly time-based, though. Like I said, some of this stuff you won't get on your first try. I'll guarantee you right now. And some of the stuff will be locked until you, well, progress through the game. Wherever you die, or be a certain thing, or do something certainly. Like I said, this is a game that, if you want 100% the game, you will need a walkthrough. But I don't think you need initially. That's if you want to get into the super secret stuff. Also, I have learned this game has plenty of mods, but I don't really use mods in this game because the game's fine enough than it is. And it's like so much I can talk about this game, but it's really hard to talk about the game when it's there's really, like I said, this is my first review, but I figured don't talk too much, just talk about the game and stuff, about my opinion. I will say there's a lot of replay value in this game. Oh, no, it's a fucking troll bomb. Yeah, that was a troll bomb, and if you're not careful, that thing will pretty much destroy you. So anyway, would I recommend this game? Well, yes, absolutely. Especially if you love roguelike games or never have a chance to play this. I think the game's like normally $15. That's a guess. It's been a while. I bought this game on a sale, well, as usual. And I think it's worth the $15 with the amount of content and the replay value you're gonna get for the type of game like this. Because the gameplay is pretty great. The story is fucked up beyond belief. It has a very impressive visual art style, which is dark yet cartoonish, and it's really a sight to hear. And the music's pretty rockin' too. It's very atmospheric at times, which is pretty nice. And there's like a ton of things I want to talk about the game. So yeah, the replay value is pretty great. And if you like modding, then, or you like mods in general, then yeah, I would recommend it. Just, there are some mods. I haven't tried the mods personally, so don't don't judge me on that. And like I said, this game's freaking awesome. I spent, I think, close to 100 hours, maybe 80-something hours, but I don't know. I love this game. And this game is also released on many platforms too. So if you don't want the PC version, then you can get the, well, the game's released on, I think, PS4, Xbox One. There's also a version on the Nintendo Switch, which I want to get on that one now because I have a Nintendo Switch now. Yeah, I bought it. And Foyo asks, yes, it's a console that you should get immediately. But anyway, this game is definitely a 10 out of 10 in my books because this game doesn't have any problems. I have no issues with the game, and there's really nothing major that's wrong with the game, other than some people tend to do not like this game because it's not a game that they'll like. Like I said, if you don't like procedurally generated games or games that are based on luck and random loot drops, then you're probably not going to like this. I don't know if I can change your mind in that part, but I would recommend giving this game a shot because it's definitely a game that has a lot going for it. Well, not in terms of story, but the gameplay, it's pretty fun. There's potential. You can potentially find a good run or a bad run, but like I said, these types of games are always fun to me because I always like to try something new and get the odds in my favor. And that's what I like about this game. So anyway, would I recommend this game? Well, yes. And that's what I can compare it to it. So anyway, that's probably it for this video, folks. If you do enjoy my first review on this game, then please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any games that you want to see me play or review, then please type in the comments below, and I'll look at it, and I'll see if it's worth my time, or reviewing, of course, if I have the memory space for it. And I am planning to do probably do another Let's Play series, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, so please be aware of that. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a whoop-tastic day, everyone. Bye-bye.